Hi everyone, Shelley Pryor here, and today I've got a little demonstration to show you how to make your own graphite paper, or transfer paper as some people call it. You're going to need a few items. You're going to need a pair of scissors, a soft pencil, in this case I'm using a 2B, a marker, some tape, some tissue paper or tracing paper rather that is cut to the size that you want, and you're going to need a smooth surface. Alright, first I'm going to talk about the reason why you want to make your own homemade graphite paper when you can buy it in the store. My main reason is that when I'm doing my artwork, I don't like to particularly do all my sketching directly on my watercolor paper or my canvas or whatever. So I usually work it out on paper and then I want to transfer it. But the reason that I like to use homemade instead of the commercial graphite paper is because every so often you transfer something and what happens is it comes out a little bit too dark. And now if you're working with acrylics, it's not too bad because you can usually cover it up, but if you work in watercolor, which I do quite often, it does make it very difficult. So here I've got two examples. You can see that the homemade graphite transfer has certainly transferred lighter than the commercial one, but the main reason is that I am able to take an eraser and completely get rid of that. And the commercial one, no matter how hard I try, I'm not going to be able to get rid of it all. So you can see that there's quite a difference there. So if I want to get rid of something on my artwork, lines that aren't going to exactly help my art, then I would like to be able to erase them. So for demonstration purposes here, I'm going to use a small piece, and you want to work on a smooth surface, not something like a oak table or something that's bumpy or anything like that. You want to have it nice and smooth. This is Arborite type of table, so it's very cleanable and smooth. If you don't have anything like that, then you can use maybe the back of a baking sheet or something. This is very washable. You are going to get dirty making your graphite paper because it's a little bit messy. So the first thing I want to do is tape it down. I'm going to tape it on all sides. Top, bottom, and both sides. There we go. All right, so now I'm using a woodless pencil for this process. You could use a standard pencil. This is a standard 2B, and this is a woodless 2B. I like the woodless mainly because you have more graphite exposed on the end because you don't have the wood wrapped around the graphite. So, but you could use either one. All right, so the first thing you want to do is using a bit of pressure and making sure that you cover all parts of the tracing paper. You're going to cover the whole thing. You want to make sure you're overlapping all your strokes, not this sort of thing. So you want to overlap all of your strokes in order to make sure that the entire piece is covered. I'll just go quickly here. One other thing you're going to be needing in a moment is paper towel. So in order to make sure that I'm getting good coverage, I'm going in different directions as well. And I am applying a bit of pressure. It actually helps very much to have it taped down because it keeps it from moving all around, but it also, the tape I'm going to use, I'm going to fold that back underneath in a minute, and that's actually going to finish off the edges of my paper to make it a little bit more stable too. Alright, so here's the messy part. You're going to take some paper towel and you're going to really rub it into your tracing paper until it's all smeared and well covered. Alright. As you can see, it's pretty messy. So I'm going to fold it in on itself and continue. And this time I'm actually just rubbing off the excess graphite because a lot of it's going to be sort of sitting on the surface, which if you turn it over onto your artwork, it could leave a smudgy mark just without even tracing anything. So you want to make sure you've picked up the excess graphite. I'm going to untape it from my table, or in your case, you might be working on the back of a baking sheet or something. And pull it off carefully. And you can see how dirty my surface is getting, and my fingers. And the next thing I want to do is I want to trim these corners on a diagonal to remove the excess tape, because when I fold it over on itself that tends to get a little bit thick. So I'm just going to cut these on the diagonal. Like that. We'll do all 4 sides. There we go. Alright, so now I can fold it over onto itself, and that will finish off the edge very nicely, make the tracing paper a little bit more stable, less prone to tearing on the edges and that sort of thing, because once you've made your graphite paper, you'll be able to use it over and over and over again. Alright, so there I've got a really nice piece of graphite paper that's homemade, but before I turn it over, I want to take my marker and I want to write this side up. And why do I do that? Because quite often I will stick it underneath and not even realize that I've got it wrong side up and I've got it traced the wrong way. So by marking it, then you'll always be able to know which way to put it underneath. It is a little hard to tell. So anyway, so that's what you do, and you'll be able to take your rough drawing, place it on your canvas or your watercolor paper or your any kind of paper that you happen to be using, and then take your stylus and do a clean drawing on your artwork. And then if by chance you still need to make a revision, it's in pencil and is erasable. Okay, it's nice and light. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but there you go, a nice light transfer that's very clean. So that's how you make your own homemade graphite paper. Hope you enjoy that tip. We'll see you next time. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more tutorials and tips for artists. And we'll see you soon.